Hi, Bloomies. This is Caitlin, and I am here with you. Just making sure, yeah, you guys can hear me. I'm here with Bloom Daily Planners, and tonight we're going to be talking about party planning, and specifically summer themed parties. I already see a couple people checking in. Thank you so much for being here. I see Shannon, my dinner date from Go Wild. I'm so happy to see you. Thank you so much for coming to hang out. But yeah, this is going to be so fun. I want to explain where my inspiration for this live came from. Um, I myself am not a party planner. And so you might think, well, then why are you on here telling us about party planning? I want to be, right? I go to my friends' parties and family parties, and my mom's been working on something really cool for my family. And I see all of these people doing these big parties, and I always shy away from that kind of thing. Even my kids, I don't throw them big parties. And I know that they're getting to the age where those are going to start being really core memories. And so instead of just lumping myself into a group and a mold and saying, well, I can't do that, I'm not a party person, I thought, what better time than for me to research and take it all the way back to basics and find 10 steps to help me and anyone else who might be like me plan a party for the summer, right? We're in the perfect time. It's graduations, Father's Day, 4th of July, birthdays, pool parties, luau's, barbecues, all of those things are coming up. And I don't know about you, but like I really want to be ready. And with summer, you have to start planning early, which is something we're going to talk about because so many people book up vacations and stuff super early. So I do see Nirka, Nirka, I'm guessing on that one. I hope I'm close. And Kimmy are also here. Kimmy's got to step out for a second, but that's okay. But yeah, so thank you guys. If you guys have any specific celebrations that you know you're going to be planning out this summer, I'd love to see them in the comments. Just kind of get the ideas rolling. I know for me, the big one is my daughter's 10th birthday. So that's going to be the main thing that I'm working on. I want to explain too, I have my planner and my stickers here because I'm not super used to just talking to the camera alone, like my face on the whole screen. I'm used to also doing something with my hands. So I figured I could decorate my monthly spread for June while we talk, right? Like, why not? And it'll give my hands something to do and keep my I'm one of those people where I need to be like doodling or writing while we're in a meeting. So this will just kind of be like that. But I also encourage you, if you need to catch up on your weekly spread, you're planning for the weekend or next week, you still haven't planned June. I still haven't planned June. There's no shame here. You're not going to get judgment from me. So break out your planner and we can talk about everything party that I was able to find. And if you have tips as we go through, I would also love to hear them. I did put out some feelers in the Facebook community. If you don't know, we have an amazing Facebook community. It's the Bloom Daily Planners community. If you search it up, you can send a request to join, and I will be approving people after this live and every day, pretty much forever. We have been kind of brainstorming ideas. We've seen people starting to plan with their bucket lists, their summer bucket lists, and to-do lists and vision boards that we worked on last time we were together live. So I just think that this is like the best time to start gearing up. Like I said, I found us 10 simple steps, and I have some extra things that are going to help us along the way as well. And we're just going to kind of chit chat and decorate and talk about planning. So, the first thing to do when you are planning your party, right, is to choose a theme. So, like for my daughter, right, it's going to be teamwork. We're going to have to work together. She's going to be 10, and everything that she wants to do or doesn't want to do it's a very clear opinion. Um, her and I do not have the same taste. That has been made very clear to me. And so for her, I'm going to really involve her in that theme, picking, right? Because it could be for kids, obviously, it can be colors or characters related. Or if you're going to go, garden party, a fiesta theme. Luau was another one that I saw that was really fun. So it can be a more grown up, elevated theme if that's your party, or even colors if you don't want to get too like kitschy. Although I think summer parties are like the best time to get a little kitschy, right? Like flower necklaces or like sombreros, margaritas. I think summer is the easiest time to kind of lean into that and get a little silly. But if you are looking for a more elevated or elegant look, defaulting to some of your favorite colors is always great, or even going for like a garden or country kind of vibe would always be great. So, starting with your theme, I think really helps you to set the tone for everything else you're going to be picking. So, the next thing, though, before you can start making decisions, is to figure out your budget. So, what kind of budget are you working with, right? And it's not, I am someone who firmly believes that it's not worth like putting yourself into financial hardship to look a certain way for other people. So be really honest about your budget. If it's a family thing, talk it over with the whole family. Make sure that everyone is on the same page about what kind of budget we're working on. And just be realistic. Maybe leave some wiggle room. Like maybe try to stay way below your budget so that if something comes up, you have room to spare, right? Like we don't want to be at budget and still have multiple things to plan. So, working on your budget, and that includes if you're going to have your party at a venue, if you're going to, or versus having it at home, if you can reserve a place at a park. I know here in Delaware, a lot of the state parks will let you reserve, um, oh, what are those called? Like not like a gazebo, but like bigger, right? Where it's like the roof on top, but they're like open. You can reserve those for either very inexpensive or free, depending on the park. So get creative. Just because you might have a modest budget does not mean that you can't have a super amazing summer bash. Um, and ask people in your area. People love to give advice. So, once you start a Facebook thread, it could be a lot, but you can definitely reach out to people in your immediate area to get some ideas on places that you can go to rent out space on the cheap. Or if you can go really lavish, look around you and see what is still available to book out for the summer, right? We don't want ever want to assume that something's booked out. With the economy the way it is, I bet there's more places with openings than you would think. So we're going to think about venue, we're going to think about entertainment, budget applies to our food and drinks, decorations. And you definitely want to make sure that you're focusing your budget as you're working through on the essentials, right? So the roof over your head, the food, the drinks, and then the decorating can be factored in at the end. Who cares if you have a giant balloon arch if you don't have food to feed your guests? So when we're thinking about budget, that's going to be the first place it gets allocated. And then you have to pick a date and time, right? So, especially like I said, in the summer, things get really crazy. People have their whole summer vacations planned. So, you want to be making sure that you're keeping in mind weather as much as you can. And then reaching out to your guests, your most important VIP guests, seeing what their calendar looks like. And as much as you can, you want to plan ahead, right? So, step number 4 is actually sending invitations. And this is where I have a huge struggle with sending my invitations on time. You want to, in the summer, especially give 3 to 4 weeks if you can, because, like I said, people have stuff booked out, people are making last minute plans. So 3 weeks minimum is kind of the goal you want to be shooting for. The more time, the better. At this point, it's basically like a wedding, and you could send a save the date now for something in August and then your real invitation later, and people would probably appreciate it. So you also don't have to send a paper invitation necessarily. You can also make a Facebook event, right? That's free. And you could, there's other platforms like Evite, paperless post, that you can use for sending electronic invitations. I know my friends make the most adorable invitations on like Shutterfly and through Shutterfly, so they don't even have to worry about the postage and the shipping and licking envelopes and all of that. So all of those are great things to consider. So Shannon said, I always have a people count alongside the budget so that it can affect, because they can affect each other 100%. So even if it's not like your final count, right? Having an idea for my daughter's birthday, I would want to go in ahead of time and have her pick out how many friends like have to be there. And then we can kind of round that off and leave a little wiggle room. But that way, you know, kind of how to space out your budget. Let's see. And Paul said his friend Betsy English Capper would love this. So I love that. Hopefully that was a tag. Tag Betsy for me. Um, yeah, so I'm curious to know in the last couple of summers, what was your like best party you've been to? I want to hear about it. Mine personally was a baby shower that was like next level. There was so much attention to detail. And I 100% it just, yeah, it blew it out of the water for me. It was a joy to be there. Every little thing was considered. And the thing I think that got it there was it was a group effort, right? The both sides of the family, multiple friends, multiple cousins, everyone kind of chipped in. So think about that too. If you're planning a party and it is a family event or a reunion or a baby shower, bridal shower, anything like that, if you can get more help 100%. That would be amazing. The more hands, the better. And the less stress for each person, right? Because each person can kind of divvy out those tasks, which would be amazing. I also see Paul and Shannon tagging other people now. So thank you for that. Anybody who would like to tag a friend that they think would enjoy this, that would be so appreciated. And you can always share these lives before and after because the videos just stay up on YouTube and Facebook. So you can always share them and send them out. So if a week from now you have a friend who's like, oh, I need to start planning a party, you can send me their way. Um, so yeah, so when we're let's do a recap of 1 through 4, right? So we picked a theme, we set a budget, we picked a date and a time, and we sent out our invitation. So now everybody knows that we're having this party. We're going to make sure we're getting RSVPs in, which can always be tricky. I'm really bad about RSVPing too. Um, if I'm not seeing it, it's out of my head. So that's the one thing I do that does help me. I always put invitations that I get on my refrigerator so that I have to see it multiple times and I'm more likely to RSVP. So if you send a beautiful invitation, people are more likely to put it on their fridges too. So step number 5 is planning your menu, right? So you are going to need to think about who is coming to your party, or what kind of dietary needs they may have, right? I'm not going to have the same menu for Alex's birthday party and all of her 10-year-old friends that I would if it was me and my college roommates getting together for a catch up. It's just not going to happen. So I you want to definitely make sure you're thinking about your menu, the time of day as well. If you know that you don't have a huge budget and you want to save on menu, having an afternoon party would be great because you don't have to commit to lunch. You don't have to commit to feeding everyone dinner. You can kind of have snacks and apps and little picky foods that people can just come and get as they want versus having like a sit down dinner or a meal. Oh, I see Caroline's here too. Thank you. Tagging people for me too. Um, so yeah, examples of just things you can consider that are super easy, but for me just weren't something I assumed, right? It was something that I saw it and I was like, oh, duh. Um, so barbecue with burgers, hot dogs, and a veggie option, or a taco bar with lots of options so that people can kind of build their own and customize their own. Also, a potluck. In my husband's family, we love a potluck. Everybody always wants to bring something to help contribute. And so his aunt is usually in charge of assigning out different meals, or like, okay, you can bring desserts. These people can bring desserts. These people can bring fruit and veggies, like just divvying it up. So it's so much less work for her. She just has to set up the tables and then everybody brings the food for her. So if people are offering or you're comfortable asking people for potluck, also a great budget saver there. And it helps, I think, just bring diversity to, right, your food options. Um, and we also want to consider vegetarian, vegan, and gluten free. So I, at different points in my life, have been gluten free and vegan. And I will say that there is something to be said for people with very strict dietary needs that bring their own food. But it was always so nice to go somewhere and have something I could eat, even if it was separate, even if I brought my own food. Having a snack or something that I could eat just made me feel a little more included. So I won't tell you it's necessary, but it's really nice. And I feel like it's not that hard, right? Fruits and veggies are vegan. Summertime's a great time for crudité and watermelon and, cut fruit. So just having a good variety is something really nice to keep in mind. And if it's a smaller party, asking your guests or making sure you know what they need. I see Nikki's here. Nikki said she loves a potluck. It takes all the pressure off. 100%, right? How much less work would it be if you could just set up your table and the food magically arrives? That's the kind of party I want to host. I don't think I can count on that for my 10-year-old's birthday, but if I could, I would. Oh, Shannon said her dog just looked up when I said watermelon. My dog is a fruit dog too. She loves strawberries and apples. If you say like apples, she'll come like running. So that's it's really cute. Okay, so step number 6 is organizing your entertainment and your activities, right? So when we're looking at the time of day and your guest list, really, you want to keep in mind the entertainment and the activities that you're going to have. So, like at that baby shower that I went to, because there were some like younger, they weren't babies there, but there were probably like 11, 12, 13-year olds. They made a separate little space where they could have they had like a TV and music and a little seating area where they could hang out and have their own space so that they felt a little independent and cool, but also the parents had a chance to like take a breath and know that their kids were, safely in the house, but not necessarily be like looking over their shoulder at all times. I was going to flip, but I think I'm just going to keep decorating my mug because it's fun. So the other things that I was considering is like for my daughter's birthday, they're a little bit older, right? She's not going to want the normal kind of like party games that I feel like we played when I was little. But she would be all about like a bracelet table where they can all kind of make their own charm bracelet, or some kind of arts and crafts. We did tie dye one year, and that was a huge hit. So I ordered the like canvas white cotton drawstring bags from Amazon, and I pre-washed them, and then the second that everybody got there, that was the first thing we did. We were in there tie dyeing. I had rubber bands. I had like a plastic tablecloth on the ground, and they went nuts. And then we let them sit in the sun in bags while they went and did, all their other games and played. And I had gloves, right? So like I tried my best to not send them home completely covered in dye, but it also helped that they were just like they rolled up really tiny, these little bags. And then they played on this giant water slide thing, and I threw everything in the wash. And by the time they're ready to go home, it was done. I had like a finished product to send home with them that was a favor, and their craft activity. So they all loved that. We'll probably be repeating that in the future. But even when they were younger, we have a big like blacktop in our backyard, and they would play out there with chalk for like hours. So you don't have to overthink it either. Bubble guns when they're really little is great, and then for more grown up parties, I think even if you're not having set like games and activities, just having different kind of stations or different areas where maybe there's music and like a little make your own drink bar outside, but maybe inside is a little more quiet and calm, and that way people can kind of find their zone, right? And Michelle's hit me with all of the amazing tips. So Michelle said Little Tikes bouncy house for toddlers, definitely a hit. And I think that one folds up small enough that you can like store it. Michelle has hers in and out of the backyard for Merrick all the time. I've been checking in on her stories. And she also said a friendship bracelet for the Taylor Swift era. And I am here for that. You guys know I would love a Taylor Swift friendship bracelet station. But I think even little things like a s'more station, right? Or I saw some inspiration that was like, we'll get to this more in a second, but like make your own lemonade, right? So it was like a regular lemonade, but then there was like strawberries and syrups and raspberries and mango. So those can be activities for a more grown up party. And then my last tip, if you can, or something to consider, is if you're having a party that's either the whole family or a mix of ages, if you can bring in a trusted person to babysit or to keep an eye out on littles that may be around, it's a great way to gift the adults and the parents at the party with some free time and some time to themselves, but also being able to bring their kids. And if they need to eat at a certain time, or maybe a mom is nursing, I know that we've had a couple of big family parties and even weddings where the bride and groom or the hosts brought in a babysitter that they had known for a long time and trusted, and paid them, an hourly rate wage that they figured out ahead of time. And that person was just pretty much there as like backup. And that way it just kind of took the pressure off. And people that don't, want kids around all the time can have that experience too. It's kind of the best of both worlds. So I also saw Michelle said ice cream bar, choose your own toppings. I love that. I love the ice cream bar and the taco bar ideas for sure. And then Rebecca said make your own candy goodie bag, which that I think I'm going to have to do for Alex's party. I think that would be a huge hit. Would get them snacks, would be an activity, and would count as a favor. And the grown up version of that too that I've seen a lot of people do is the make your own bouquet. So at like baby showers and bridal showers. Sorry guys, I'm fighting allergies this week. People will set up flower stations, so like pink flowers, purple flowers, yellow flowers, like all in these kind of tubs, and you can make your own bouquet to take home with you. And usually whoever the party is for will vote on their favorite, and then the winner gets an extra prize, but everybody gets their bouquet to take home. So the same idea as the goodie or the candy goodie bag. It would definitely let you kind of do two in one. And Nikki has a good one too. Her teenagers like having a coffee bar. You're speaking my language now for real, right? I thought I was down for ice cream bar, but coffee bar sounds great too. You could have iced coffees, especially for summertime, a great like variety of iced coffees, and then all of the flavors. If you guys haven't checked out the liquid like syrup section at Home Goods or TJ Maxx or Marshalls or one of those, you have to. There's some amazing flavor options out there now. All right. So once we have some organized entertainment and activities, step number 7 is going to be decorating our venue. Um, hold on one second. Okay. Hopefully that worked. Yeah, you guys can hear me again. Okay, so when we're talking about decorations, remember that these are going to be the last things that we're planning as far as like after food, after all of that stuff. Once our guest list is nailed down and our budget is good, then we can talk about decorating the venue. So that can be your backyard, it can be a place that you're going. Um, the easiest, I think, sometimes are to go with like dollar store decorations, something you can just pick up and throw out. I'm so sorry. Give me one second. Okay, that tickle does not want to leave me alone. Um, so I love, especially for kids, when you have the plastic or even like brown natural craft paper that you can put down on a table. So when you're done, you can just fold everything up and get rid of it. The cleanup is so much nicer. But something else that I saw a lot of inspiration for was thrifting some of your decorations. So you're kind of staying green. You're also maybe easier to stay on budget and some things that you can use over and over. So if you stick with kind of classic neutral colors, things that could apply to multiple parties, and then your extra little decorations or flowers or things like that can be more customized to the theme, where your linens could be the same no matter what the party's for. All right, let's see. We got a couple more good ideas popping in. So Michelle said leaving a Polaroid camera out on the table so that everybody can take Polaroid pics. Definitely. And I had it on my list too to say not everybody has an iPhone, but for our Bloom events, right, when we have our retreat or our company parties, we all make a shared album. So anybody with an iPhone can share. You can also do it, I think, in the Drive. You can just make like a Google Drive folder. And that way everyone can contribute the pictures and have access to everybody else's pictures from the party, which I also think is really fun. And Meredith said, dollar store stuff is awesome and easy to paint or customize and very budget friendly. I would say 100% dollar store, but also the like Five Below back section that's like 5 to 10 has really stepped up their game. So I would definitely tell you to check there too. Caroline says Michael's has the best decor and is also budget friendly, and Michael's also always has a coupon. So never buy anything full price from Michael's. Let's see. Jen said yes to shared folders for photos, right? Because then you get everybody else's too. Paul said Swifties, Taylor Swift loves cheesecake, and they now want all parties to have cheesecake. So, what are other dessert ideas that you love? I know we said like a s'mores bar, a s'mores station, or ice cream bar, but yeah, if there's other like group desserts or something, if somebody's like, hey, I want to bring something, what can I bring? What kind of dessert would you ask someone to bring? Like, what's your top request? We want to know. Um, and with the photos too, it's really easy to do a DIY photo booth. So keep that in mind too, that just like a curtain and some props, people can either Polaroid it or take pictures on their phone. One second. I swear I haven't coughed this much all day. Let's see, we got at least one in so far. So Meredith said a cookie or cupcake bar where you can put your own frosting and decorate them. The kids love to pick sprinkles, that's for sure. And Jen said potluck it. She's up for potlucking too. Agreed. And even for desserts, potluck desserts, so you can have like a little nibble of everything. I love that. Um, so the other thing to think about when we're talking about decorations is you want to think balloons, banners, tiki torches, things that would be like up It's easy to kind of get focused on the tables, but having little things around streamers or balloons. I am the official resident balloon arch maker. You can actually do it for pretty inexpensive, versus like hiring someone to do it. It's easier than you think, and there's a zillion tutorials out there on YouTube and TikTok and Instagram. So if you feel up to trying something new, 10 out of 10 recommend doing a balloon arch yourself. And they usually keep for a couple days before your event. So you don't have to be doing it the day of. You can also think about where everybody's going to be. So if you're doing indoor and outdoor sitting, if you're doing a dining table, right? If people are going to be sitting and eating at their tables, what else is going to be on the table? Are you going to do flowers? I saw a cool idea that said if you invest in a slightly bigger bouquet, you can get little bud vases from the dollar store and just take a couple flowers from that bouquet. So you have one big centerpiece and then lots of little coordinating and matching flowers that you can spread around so it looks like a lot more than it really is. Um, let's see, Caroline said a fruit parfait, so vanilla pudding, strawberries, and blueberries for 4th of July. I love that. A little on brand, but also healthy. Nikki's vouching for our balloon arch idea. I feel like they're popping up everywhere, pun intended. Jen Burry says she loves a twinkle light. I love a twinkle light too, inside and outside for that matter. And then Adventures from Canada is here hanging out. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so the other thing too is get creative, especially for kids' parties with picnic blankets. Anytime you can kind of get them moving or keep them outside, as long as it's not like a zillion degrees, is a great idea. Um, and anytime you can set up more outside so that they can kind of stay outside versus running in and out, again, very helpful. And then number 8 is prepare a playlist. So you want to make sure that you have music ready to go, and that can be a Spotify, a Pandora. You can go through and curate song by song if you want, but you want to have a playlist set up ahead of time, so that you don't have to worry about it or worry about playing DJ. If we're talking a big party, by all means, um, get a DJ, but you don't want to have to be worrying about that while you're worrying about everything else. So you're going to want to make a playlist. And you want to think about that with a theme. So everything I just assumed, right, I would pick my favorite songs. But if you're having a themed party, so you're going to have well, maybe you go a little Hawaiian or a little reggae, right? Or barbecue could be like more of a classic rock vibe. Not that you have to do one thing or the other, but I just think for me, it wouldn't have occurred to me to try to theme my music with the party. So just something I wanted to mention and bring up to you guys because I really got inspired a lot by all of this research. So Jen also said, hang a white sheet outside and project a movie for kids to watch. We have done that. And let me tell you, we've also done the grown-up version and watched like a scary movie out there. And it was so much fun. So definitely love that idea. And then, that could be your whole party, a movie night, and have snacks and popcorn, set up some camping chairs and some blankets. Sounds like a good time to me. Let me just take a breath. Sorry, guys. Okay. Number 9 is actually setting up your beverage and food stations. So, like we talked about, there can be a wide range of how you're eating, and you're going to go buffet style. Are you going to have kind of meals like ready to go? I feel like that's not really common anymore unless it's like, a wedding or something like that. But other things that I thought were really cute with the beverage stations, they had DIY cocktail bars I saw, even DIY like iced tea bars, super cute. I'm not a big iced tea drinker, but I love they had like little peaches, frozen raspberries, so you could like add flavor to your tea, but also like keep it cold. Just those little details like that, I think, take everything to the next level. You're definitely going to want to make sure there's a water available at all times, at all parties, all summer, for all ages. But also, like, I'm not a drinker, right? I don't drink generally. So as in alcohol. So I do love the idea that even at a grown-up party, having a mix of alcoholic and non-alcoholic beverages, or making sure maybe you have like a mocktail so that people can still feel included without having to worry about, you know, people asking why they're not drinking. We're a company of many moms, and so I think I think that sometimes new moms aren't ready to share the news with everyone. So if we can have a mocktail in our hands, it can take the pressure off as well. Those little things that not everybody thinks of until you're in that situation. Um, Kay said that we are inspiring her with some ideas for her son's birthday this weekend. And with that in mind, I also wanted to mention I completely forgot when we were talking about decorating, something really sweet that Kay did in the office this week. She had Meredith, who's one of our lovely graphic designers who does beautiful lettering. She's been on the lives with us before. They laid out a piece of like a giant roll of paper, and Meredith did a beautiful hand lettering of like happy birthday Will, right? Or Will's second birthday, something super cute in the middle. And then all the way around is open so that when people come, hopefully I'm not ruining this for any of your guests, okay? But having the open space so that people can write their little messages to him on that paper, and then she can roll it up and save it for him when he's older. And I just thought that was so cute, and it didn't really cost anything. I'm not really a hand letterer, but I think if I like sat there and drew it out with a pencil first, or even got like those big letter stickers like we used on our vision board. You could pop those on. Those were just from the dollar store. So get creative, but there are other things you can do that are double purpose, right? So that's going to be a decoration she can use now and a keepsake for later. So you can always kind of double dip and find those things that'll work for both. Kaylin agreed. Pregnant mamas appreciate the mocktail options, right? So you definitely feel included. Um, Emily was a big fan of that sign that Meredith was working on. Um, and yeah, she's going to have the kids, other kids in the family, draw pictures on there for him too. And I just think it's so, so cute. Jen said we did something similar for a friend's dad with a sheet and had a blanket made from it. And that sounds amazing. Those are the kind of keepsakes that you'll really keep forever. Right? That's not getting thrown out or regifted in a week. Like that's something you really hold on to. So the other thing I think is really important too is to label everything, right? When we're talking about um, our food and our drinks, um, we want to make sure that everything is labeled. So we're looking at either washi tape or chalkboard labels, things that are really easy for you to use, but that will help everyone identify so they know exactly what food they're looking at, what drinks, if there's different zones to the party. If you're talking about having vegetarian, vegan, or gluten-free options, you want to make sure that those are marked so that the people who need them can find them really easily. Or if something has peanuts in it, maybe you mark that so that people with an allergy know to like stay away. Those little things will make it easier for you as a host to just go about your routine and your business and keep moving instead of just having to answer a million questions versus if you right, if you don't, you're just no, it takes away all of that confusion, we'll put it that way. Let's see, Michelle said I saw a cute thing for a graduation party where throughout the entrance to the party, you pass the kids' school photos for every year, and they had a sign that said Memory Lane. I've seen that for first birthdays too, where they do the like 1 month, 2 month, right? Like every month they took a picture and then they'll take like a big group picture with everyone that's at the party for the 1 year. And that way they can keep those too. And I thought that was really sweet. I love those ideas. So the last thing that we want to do, speaking of allergies and things of that nature, is number 10 is plan for comfort and safety. So you always want to make sure that you have some backup plan in case weather does not cooperate. So that's why I love the idea of if you're going to be like out having a park where they have those big, um, gosh, what are those called? They're not gazebos. That's the name that keeps coming to my head, but I know that that's wrong. Um, those big covered spaces that you can put picnic tables and stuff under. And that way, if it rains, everyone, pavilion, thank you, Jen. Pavilions. You can rent a pavilion or reserve a pavilion. And that way, if it rains randomly, everybody can kind of run for cover. Or if you're planning an outdoor party at your house, make sure that you have enough clean rooms maybe prepped so that if the party has to come inside for a little bit, you're prepared and not throwing laundry into another room on the side. So yeah, always having a backup plan in case the weather is not cooperating. And I love the idea. I saw something of a bug repellent station for an outdoor party. So they had sunscreen and then bug spray, those like little fans that you can put around like babies and stuff where they really shouldn't have bug spray on their skin. And then also like the citronella candles, especially at night, will really help to make sure that your space is as bug free as possible. Even those, they make those cool mesh, they look like little tents that you can, netting tents that you can put over food to help keep flies out. So anything like that I think would be a great to help make sure that everybody can be as comfortable and safe as possible. And if you are going to have a pool party, making sure that you have extra floaties, extra pool noodles, that everybody understands like the pool safety rules, right? They're like the no running and the things we take for granted that like all kids should know, assume that none of them know, right? Like we have a fire pit in our backyard, and every time we have kids over, we have a whole conversation about it, that they're not going to go near it. We're not going to touch it because there's cinder blocks and there's who knows what has been burned in there. There could be nails. So, like, it's just something we cover every time, even if it's friends and family that have been here every single year. We review it as if they've never seen it before because the last thing you want during your party is for someone to get hurt. Um, I saw Nikki had a great idea. So, homemade birthday banners for each of her kids when they were babies. And then she has used them every year, adding little things to go with the theme. So that way it's special for that year. And when they look back, they can have that memory of each one. I love that. Um, let's see. Kaylin said she ordered plastic tablecloths with elastic corners so she doesn't have to tape them. I love that idea. And I also saw that people were doing that with thrifted bed sheets. So, like, they bought fun, colorful bed sheets and just like washed them, I guess, like 3 times in the washing machine. And then because they're twin sheets, they have the elastic and they'll pop right over the table. So, I love that. So yeah, those are our 10 steps for planning a party, the 10 things to kind of get you started on your plan. So we'll review them in just a second. We'll go back through and make sure we're all on the same page. But the other thing I wanted to share with you, these are our Bloom party planning printables that are free. Two of these are on our website, and one is from the archive. So I'm going to be putting free links to all of these in our Facebook community. So if you're not already a member of the Facebook community, you can search it up super easy. It's Bloom Daily Planners Community on Facebook. You can also go to Bloom Daily Planners Facebook page, and you'll find links to it there as well. But when you're in that community, I'll be approving people all night, all week, and all weekend. So if you're joining up, we'd love to have you. There's so many places for inspiration, advice, and also extra bonuses like printables and sneak peeks and stuff like that. So this is our event planning, and I kind of put these in order of like the most free flowing to the most guided, right? So this is our event planning that our graphic designers have listed for us. So you have your event, appetizers, side dishes, main course, desserts, drinks. We got kids, food and stuff, and then extra supplies. You have your shopping list and your to-dos, right? So if you are a pro party planner, this is, I'm assuming, like the Michelles of the world, we're going to really be able to use this one where I might need a little more guidance, right? So if you're a pro, the event planning, I think, is the one for you. If you need just like a little bit of guidance, we have our event planning checklist. So it has a little more, right? Like occasion, time, location, theme, how many people you invited, how many confirmed, reminding yourself what your RSVP deadline was. We have some setup and decor notes, all of your to-dos, but they're pre-listed for you, right? And they're basically the 10 that we just went over are all here for you, as well as space for food and drinks, and then your notes and ideas, right? So that's like, this might not be your first party, but maybe you want to make sure you're not forgetting anything. And then this is the one for me. This is for the party planners who it's been a minute since we planned anything. So you still have all of that information about your occasion, your theme, the number of people that you invited and confirmed. We've got food and drinks, decorations, activities, and notes. But really, I think the golden part here is this side, right? So a month prior, what you need to do. 3 weeks, what you need to do, right? And it like breaks it down for you with detailed versions of everything we covered tonight, all in one checklist laid out for you so you know exactly what you're doing and when, right? So I love that we have all three different options. These are, like I said, are just free printables that our amazing graphic designers have put together to help support our Bloom girls. So we have, if you need a lot of help, our party planner. If you need a little extra guidance, our event planning checklist. And if you need just a nice form to fill out all of your own information because you've got it in the bag, then this event planning printable is for you. So, like I said, all three of those will be available as free links to download in the Facebook community. So, Bloom Daily Planners community on Facebook, and you can find us over there. We would love to have you. Um, yeah, so if anybody else has any questions, I did see some people chit-chatting. Everybody seems to be like loving the colors. And Shannon is a big fan of the printables. We do have a whole section of freebie printables and downloads on our website all the time that's available for everyone. So make sure that you go check those out too. And Michelle said, love the choose your own adventure printable level options, right? I really think that's nice though. Depending on how much guidance you want, there's something for you there. Or if you know somebody who's planning a party, grab all three, print all three out and give it to them. And what a like little act of kindness that just kind of shows your support for them and what they're planning. But yeah, if anyone has any questions, I'm going to keep the chat going for a couple minutes. But I do want to tell you guys that we have a very busy June coming up. So we are going to be live again a week from today. So June 12th at noon Eastern, we're going to be going live with Notique, which is an amazing brand in our planner community. Lovely VJ from Notique, she makes these beautiful bags, backpacks, wallets, and agenda covers, right? So planner covers where it like folds and protects your beautiful planner. And we've been working with her for a couple months now, prepping and planning for a planner clinic. So we're going to be live with her on our YouTube channel and on Instagram with her next Wednesday, June 12th at noon Eastern. So that's our first one that we're so excited. We're going to be sharing some tips on kind of figuring out what kind of planner you are. But if you want all of the details, we'll see you next week. But also keep an eye out if you are on our newsletter emailing list, because we're going to be sending out some information about that at the end of this week with this week's freebie. And then I will be back just with Bloom on Monday, June 17th at 8 p.m. Eastern with Claudia Ramos from Hola Mijas Bonitas, who is amazing. We worked with Claudia last year on her Hola Mijas Bonitas sticker pack. So she's an amazing illustrator who is a Latinx stationery brand. She started her own company. She draws the most adorable little Mijas characters. And so Bloom was able to see all the amazing work she was doing and how amazingly sweet. And she just has this energy that when you meet her and you talk to her, it's like infectious. You cannot help but smile and laugh when you talk to her. So she's going to be with us on Monday, June 17th, sharing her story and how we've kind of collabed and worked on these stickers and all of the amazing things that she's done this last year. We kind of just want to catch up with her. And I promise you, she is someone that you're going to want to listen to because her story is great. And I'm not kidding. When she starts talking and you see her smile, you have to smile. You don't have a choice. She's just so, so sweet. So we'll be here with her on the 17th. We'll be with Notique on the 12th. So you can come find us all month long. And I'm so grateful that you guys came to hang out with us. I hope that this helped kind of spark some ideas for you. Thank you to everyone for all of your amazing comments and ideas and inspiration. I apologize for the coughing, and I'm so grateful for your patience with me on that. Hopefully, we'll be out of allergy season here soon, and that won't be an issue in the coming weeks. But yeah, if you guys ever have requests for topics that you would like us to cover live, please leave them in the comments, or you can always email me, Caitlin, at bloomdailyplanners.com, or in the Facebook community. Go figure, is a great place that you can ask your questions, and we get our ideas for lives from there as well. So thank you guys so much for coming to hang out again, letting me kind of doodle in my planner and add some stickers while I talk, just to keep my hands busy. Make sure that you're keeping an eye out in the community for these links. I'll get them posted up right after I close out this live. And I hope that you guys have an absolutely amazing weekend. We will see you back here on YouTube on Wednesday next week at noon Eastern. And until then, guys, I hope that you have a great night, and we just love you so much. Bye.